Hello, Gemini Rising, and welcome to your September Astrology and Tarot forecast. I'm Lisa Merrifield with Trails Edge Astrology, and on this channel, I seek to give grounded, practical astrological advice so you can live your best life. If you haven't already listened to the September update, you might go back. I'll link it here and just go through that because in that I go over all of the transits that I think are really significant this month. There are about 6 of them. I also made a journaling page if you want it to that lets you see the transits and the dates and then make some notes for yourself about how that might show up for you. And also, I think it's really interesting to note how it did show up for you. So it's interesting to note the what could happen and then what did happen or what feelings changed or that kind of thing. Because astrology is so cyclical, it's really interesting to go back and look at the patterns over time. So I think that's worth doing. All right. Oh, and in terms of that journal page, I will link it down below. So it's linked in that September video, and I'll link it down below. And you can go grab that if that is of interest to you. All right. So before we get started, remember to like and subscribe, comment. Let me know that you're out there and interested. Let the algorithm know that this is interesting and useful content. That helps me, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about the transits that are coming your way. First of all, we got to talk about Pluto. On September 1st, Pluto moved back into Capricorn. Now, Pluto had been in Capricorn from 2008, 2009, solidly all the way up until the beginning of 2023. And during that time, Pluto in Capricorn was in your 8th house. So I suspect you have been going through a lot of beginnings and endings over that period of time. Um, 8th house work is transforming both literally and your spiritual contracts with people. So I mean, it can be everything from mortgage to, the vulnerability and intertwinedness of resources in committed relationships. So, so probably a lot of really deep work during that 15-year period, well, where Pluto has been in Capricorn in your 8th house. This does depend on what else you've got going on in your 8th house, what other planets Pluto has been interacting with over time. Certainly, any of the other cardinal planets, if you've got placements in any of the other cardinal signs. So Capricorn, of course, Aries, Cancer, or Libra. If you've got planets in any of those places, you have probably felt this Capricornian or this Plutonian energy really strongly in some period of this transit. So between September 1st and November um, 19th, Pluto will be back in Capricorn for one last stint. So, whatever you had been working on, whatever had been showing up for you over that long period where Pluto was in Capricorn, you have one last chance to incorporate whatever it is you need to incorporate to do whatever soul's evolution it is you're being called to do. Sometimes these things can be tests. So, something that you would have responded to differently back in 2007, you get that opportunity, and it probably has come up throughout, but you get that opportunity to revise and rethink and do it differently this time. It won't be the same situation exactly, but sometimes themes come up. So look for that this fall. I think it's significant, and yeah, and it's just a chance. Pluto's very receptive to us working with it, to us leaning in. If there's stuff you need to finish, and it could be everything from like, I got to get that paperwork filed to, I need to figure out a new way to connect to my partner or something. It can be any range of contractual kinds of things where we're intertwined with others. Um, and then after November 20th, Pluto moves into Aquarius for good for the next 19 years, I believe. And that means Pluto will move into your 9th house, which is interesting and exciting. Pluto in the eighth house probably was some work, some endings and beginnings. Pluto in the ninth house, I think, will bring about some really significant new starts. So, the ninth house is about our abstract thoughts, it's about religion, spirituality, expansion of our personal philosophy, any of those kinds of like higher mind kinds of things. Literally, it can be about travel and education. So, you might take some trips that are transformative or go back to school. It could be literally those kinds of things. It can be literally like becoming a teacher or finding a new teacher, or it can be that more abstract kind of like like recreating your personal philosophy. The ninth house is also the house of astrology, so so if you're interested in being an astrologer, Pluto in your ninth house seems perfect to me. So yeah, but this fall, finishing up that Capricorn work in your eighth house and seeing what that brings for you. All right, the second transit I want to talk about and scope out a little bit for you is the eclipse. So eclipses happen twice a year, and this eclipse is going to be in Virgo and Pisces. The eclipse is on September 17th. I should have said that at the beginning. September 17th is the first eclipse of this eclipse season. And for you as a Gemini, it will be in your fourth and 10th house. So, so that means that you're going to begin to explore some like work-life balance issues, some public-private kinds of spaces. So, Saturn has been in your 10th house, your house of career, for some time now. Um, and it's really, really, I think, solidifying what your career looks like. And this eclipse may bring up some new information. It may illuminate some things that you haven't seen. It may show you something about your career or about this public trajectory that you're on that you need to integrate or think about, or you weren't aware of, you didn't know. So that can totally happen during an eclipse season. So so lean into this. Eclipses often it's just a karmic course correction. So often we don't have a lot of control over what happens during an eclipse. It's just like, you know, one minute we're doing one thing and the next minute something else shows up. So that can happen. And it's for a soul's evolution. And so lean in and see how you can work with that. Um, Eclipse energy also doesn't always show up on the day of. There are different philosophies as to what the time period for eclipses is. Um, this is going to be a blip in your um, fourth and 10th house, the public private parts of your chart. Um, and then the eclipse in October is going to go back into the Libra Aries axis, which for you is about creativity, individual creativity, and working in groups to do things creatively. So so this is a foreshadowing of what it's going to look like when the eclipses do finally move permanently. They stay in signs for a couple years. When they do shift um, into that public, private, career, personal life um, aspect of your chart. So see what happens. Take some notes and really work with this energy. It's always interesting to see what comes up. So I recommend you take some notes and just kind of like observe what does this theme seem to be um, for this eclipse cycle? What kinds of very public and very private things are you working on balancing through this eclipse season? All right, let's now pull some cards to see how this is likely to to I guess to add some nuance to how this kind of energy, this eighth house energy, this beginnings and ending kind of energy, and then this career private life kind of space that the eclipse is illuminating. So we are going to read with the Mind's Eye Tarot. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card from the Tosha Silver Wild Offering Oracle deck. All right, I'm going to pause, shuffle, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So for your opportunity this month, you got the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is, well, pages in general are about learning, education, um, and about information. They can also be about young people or people who present in a youthful way. Um, the suit of wands is about creativity and passion and instinct and intuition and all of those kinds of things. So I would guess that this month there might be some new information coming in for you. Some new information about how to live into this space, how to live into, whatever is showing up for you, related to these transits, related to the eighth house energy and that fourth and 10th house energy. There might be some new information, some new learning opportunities, a new chance to kind of like see things with beginner's mind. It should be exciting. It should be something that makes your heart beat a little faster, makes you you know lights the fire in your belly. Kind of information or kind of education or ideas or whatever, however this shows up, should be there. I think there's something innovative coming your way this month. And so your job is to recognize it and work into it. All right. The challenge. The challenge is the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is about new ventures, new like physical ventures, new jobs, new um, new building projects, new, creating tangible things in the world. So it's something, bringing in something new, starting something new. And so I wonder, your challenge might be that, that you're maybe this idea, whatever this idea is, um, gives you the motivation or gives you the impulse to try and build something or get a new job or start a new business or build a house or whatever that thing is. But that's going to be a challenge for you. There's something out there that you're wanting to build, wanting to manifest, wanting to bring into existence, and it might be tough. It might be hard to do that. I wonder if it's not related to this Pluto in the eighth energy, if it's if there's not something, like you're wanting to work into this ninth house energy, you're wanting to really create something new, and yet you're going back and you need to finish up some things first before you can move on. So what I'm sensing is that whatever this new thing you're trying to build is, it might just not be time yet, maybe. But that will come. That will definitely come. With the moon in your 10th house, in your house of career, it could really also be like, is it time? Are you exploring a new job? Maybe a new job will come that you will, that you weren't expecting, or yeah, it'll cause you some challenge though. It'll be something that you have to work in or grapple with or figure out how you're going to deal with. All right. And your to-do list. What do you do with this? Strength. So strength is about literal strength, about just like doing the work you need to do, showing up, not being afraid to take risks. The piece with strength that I think is interesting is that strength also has an element of vulnerability. With strength, there is typically a person and there is a lion, and they are intertwined. They're always very close together. And the idea is that that to be strong, you also have to be vulnerable, because with a lion, the lion could eat you or hurt you very badly. But there is some degree of vulnerability, which is very much Pluto in the eighth house. How can you be vulnerable to other people that allows you to open up new space, allows you to open up opportunities that would not have been otherwise available? So I think there's something about that strength, that like doing the work you need to do, but being vulnerable and accepting help where you need it. All right, and then the Tosha Silver card, the Wild Offering card, is loneliness. And it says, when you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace the love of my solitude, and that's when my kindred spirits can finally come. So maybe there's something about looking for partnerships or as a Gemini rising, you're naturally very communicative and very relational. And I wonder if maybe some of this new information or maybe some of this challenge is really this is an internal journey that you're working um that you're working on things on your own. And maybe that's the vulnerability. Maybe that's the strength is going alone. I don't know. You tell me. Um, if this is helpful, interesting, I would let me know. Let me know what's showing up in your life. Comments, I really appreciate them. I try and respond to all of them. If you're willing to like the video, if this was useful, I greatly appreciate it. It helps the algorithm know this is important information. And I hope all is well. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.